Good afternoon, everyone. What do sex, lies, and money all have in common? The answer is simple. They are all cornerstones of a scandal. Where do the juiciest of these scandals lie? Politics, of course. Now, everyone loves a good scandal, and in this day and age of media obsession, getting the latest gossip is easier than ever. While we're all perhaps too informed on what exactly President Trump likes to grab or what's in Hillary Clinton's emails, many past political scandals have not had the tabloid caliber attention that recent ones have achieved. Today, I will be presenting a scandalous journey throughout American history, telling stories of political scandals, including those dating back to America's founding fathers, and prove that political scandals are not just a modern phenomenon. Allow me to begin our journey by jumping back in history to one of America's founding fathers. America's first Secretary of Treasury, Alexander Hamilton, had a secret affair with a young, beautiful Maria Reynolds and was extorted to silence her husband, Mr. James Reynolds. Hamilton's affair began when Maria came to his doorstep begging for his financial assistance. And of course, Hamilton was happy to oblige in more ways than one. He offered her money and sex. Of course, eventually, Mariah's husband discovered this affair and demanded that Hamilton give him $1,000. Otherwise, he would tell Hamilton's wife, Miss Elizabeth Hamilton. Hamilton was forced to release a public apology entitled Observations on Certain Documents to avoid accusations of financial speculation. This was a huge allegation in the 1700s and 1800s. It was very serious. This pamphlet was a detailed account of Hamilton's affair, and it shocked the nation, including his wife. This was one of the first political attempts to save face. In the next stop on our scandalous journey, we'll soon learn that Marilyn and her sultry "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" is not the only notch on John F. Kennedy's bedpost. John F. Kennedy was a notorious womanizer, as some of you may know, but he was even speculated to have mob ties through some of these women. One of Kennedy's most famous mistresses is Judith Exner. The pair met through Frank Sinatra, and they've quickly developed a sexual relationship, even though Kennedy promised to keep the White House white and free of his womanizing tendencies. Kennedy allegedly used Exner as a pawn when he was trying to assassinate Fidel Castro. He would give her messages to send back and forth to the mob from JFK. Kennedy also frequently had sex with various White House staffers. Two of the most famous are coined Fiddle and Faddle, and they were friends Priscilla Ware and friend Jill Cowan. According to the White House staff, the group enjoyed frequent dinners, and they also had many excursions skinny dipping in the White House pool. We have now reached one of arguably the most famous political scandals America has ever known. It's dishonest, it's deceitful, and it's definitely short on ethics. Perhaps this is why America just can't let it go. Welcome to Watergate. The Watergate scandal ensued when burglars were caught going into the Democratic National Committee office. President Richard Nixon denied any involvement with this burglary, and the Americans soon reelected him for a second term. Soon, though, it was discovered that not only were these burglars involved in Nixon's campaign team, Nixon knew about this all along. He also attempted to cover up this to obstruct the FBI's investigation through the CIA many times. Nixon eventually complied with the investigation and released damning information on his knowledge of these burglaries. He resigned from presidency shortly after. So lastly, what type of political scandal ends with an impeachment? The best kind. President Bill Clinton had an extramarital affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky. Monica Lewinsky and Clinton began a sexual relationship after Lewinsky frequently brought mail to and from the office as in her internship. Soon, Lewinsky's name began swirling around tabloids and gossip columns, and according to Lewinsky, she and President Clinton had sexual relations in his office 9 times. Lewinsky's semen-stained dress became the smoking gun in the affair, and Clinton eventually had to release the fact that his DNA was found on the dress. Ultimately, he did admit that he did have sex with Monica Lewinsky, and he became the second president to be impeached in history. He was charged for his attempts to cover up this scandal. To this day, Bill Clinton's famous line, "I did not have sexual relations with this woman," remains one of the most recognizable quotes in U.S. government history. After reflecting on the tales of America's best acting their worst, it is obvious to see that politicians have always had their share of dirty little secrets. From the beginning of a nation to present day, scandals can be found littered throughout the American timeline just waiting to be told. Whether you look to the 1700s or 2017, Political scandals have had permanent residency in the closets of as skeletons in the closets of the political elite. After all, with great power comes even greater scandal. Thank you.